How to Talk to the Universe with your host, Axél. So, I've been a shaman my entire life, and I think one of the major differences in my ability to manipulate reality versus other energy healers is that I never grew up not talking to the universe. Like it was a natural thing in my household, and a lot of people have something similar to it, like always talking to God, always talking to the angels, maybe some of your spirit guides. But there's a very specific way that if you go about it, you will open up a lot of opportunity to change not only your life, but the life of everyone around you. So, first thing is, we have to look at a little bit of science and a little bit of spirituality. Science is telling us that the universe is essentially consciousness. It's aware, it doesn't obey time and space, even though we're operating within time and space. And there's all these other different dynamics, like when people die, they end up seeing like alternate realities of themselves and their family members and stuff like that. So it really just show us this higher sense of awareness that the universe is not what we immediately think it is. It's not just stars, it's not just planets. It's actually this living ecosystem that goes beyond our comprehension, especially when you start thinking about the fact that we live in a holographic reality. That's all made out of light. So, a universe made out of light just really opens up the doorway to questioning so much more. We know we can't see specific colors with our human eyes, but animals can see those colors that we can't see. Animals can hear sounds that we cannot hear directly with our human ears. And there's so much of the world that we're not picking up on already. How do you communicate with those extra bits of information that almost seem invisible, but in reality are totally accessible to us? That's where you have to start talking to the universe. Talking to the universe is more than just sounding crazy and hoping for the best. Like, you have to truly understand that there is magic, right? Magic is really the unknown. You can think of magic being the quantum sciences of the universe, and there's so much quantum science that's going out there that we don't even know how it works, or there'll be years until we even become aware of it, that seems magical. The power of infinity itself is magical. And when we talk about alchemy or magics or anything else, this is one of the major things that I always want you to boil it down to, is just infinity. Okay, when we're working with infinity, that's when we're able to say, okay, nothing can truly be fully defined. There are things that have limits, and we can break past those limits because infinity exists. So when you start thinking about what's been your relationship up until now with the cosmos, and then you think about how much real estate and infinity you actually have, that's going to change your perspective on what you are actually capable of. If you just talk to your spirit guides when something's bad, you don't actually have a relationship with your spirit guides. They're just more so your savior when you're in a really low 3D perspective. When you get from your 3D perspective at its lowest and you open up fully to the 4D, then your angels come through your prayers and take action. So like, if you have a different relationship or a different perception of infinity where your spirit guides, yes, they do come in when you're having those really tough days, but you regularly put yourself through a meditative state just to hang out with them, not to ask them to help you with something, but more so even just converse with them. I've personally spent a lot of time with deities just to have like a quick tea time with them, just like, okay, like, how do you see the universe from this perspective? What does love mean to you? And just having like a real life conversation of my free will, right, of my own accord, to interact with these beings. Every time you evolve that, like, if you can think about the astral world similar to this world, where you can network with anyone, you start bridging the gap between the material and the metaphysical universes. If you feel really comfortable going into the astral realm and randomly talking to any angel that is willing to have a conversation with you, then you're going to see that trait of you being able to go up to any angel manifest in the physical world. And then suddenly you will be feeling more confident and drawn to people who seem angelic or have angelic energies. And when you're fully aware of that, you're like, oh my God, everything's like kind of interconnected. Does that mean that this person is a reincarnated angel, right? An earth angel. You can then take this entire practice and become more like someone like me, like a master shaman, where you're never disconnected from it. Like literally anything and everything I do, I'm talking to the universe. Like example, I had to pause this really quick, and when I paused it, I stopped at 444 without knowing it, right? And that was my cue from the cosmos to say, like, you've done great so far in the first 4 minutes, like just keep going anyway. And I see all the like subtle messages that happen when people say something that I've been thinking about, but they have no reference point of what they're talking about. Or when I'm watching TV and a certain message comes through the program that I'm watching and is in alignment with what I'm actually channeling in my real life, the universe is talking to me in every way possible. It's just whether or not I choose to listen. You need to put yourself in that position of not thinking that things are happening randomly or when they need to happen, but they're constantly happening. And if you can put your mindset into the universe is constantly talking to you, you just have to learn how to talk to it. Then that's where you're going to start seeing miraculous events happen. Like miracles will literally start to manifest in front of you, because this is one of those things that's super, super powerful. Like you can't avoid manifesting a miracle if you're fully aware that the miracle is perpetual. And the only way you can realize that the miracle is perpetual is by letting go of what you think the universe is, so you can actually experience the universe. Now, at times, it's going to seem like mind-blowing, it's going to seem crazy, and you're going to have experiences by yourself that no one else can essentially justify for you, and you have to be okay with that, because you're having a conversation with the universe because you chose to have a conversation with the universe. Sometimes your partner is going to be there to witness you having a conversation with the universe and like, whoa, holy crap, this is really happening. But other times you're going to be by yourself because the universe only wants to hang out with you. It only wants to talk to you. It doesn't want anybody else in the room, so it won't allow certain things to happen. You have to be okay with that. Sometimes when you're starting to learn how to talk to the universe and you see it responds and magical things are happening, you'll be by yourself and the most amazing magical thing will happen and you're like, no way, I wish there was somebody here who could see it. But that would take away from the intimacy of you having that moment with the cosmos. And sometimes when you say, oh, I wish there were other people here, you don't realize that you're saying, oh, I can't believe that this actually happened if there's not another person there. And one of the things that I had to learn when I was learning how to actually communicate with the universe more deeply was not relying on other people for my own manifestations. And this happened a long time ago with one of my ex-boyfriends. He had spent so much time with me, seeing me manifest the universe and everything, right? And we had done a bunch of different cool things. When we broke up, one of the first things he had said to me was like, I don't even know if any of the stuff that you were doing wasn't just because, I was just like love struck, or I was, at that time on too many psychedelics. I don't even know if any of the stuff that you actually say you can do as a shaman is real. And that really hurt my feelings, because in that moment I realized, wow, I trusted him more than I trusted my own experience. Like no one else can love my experiences other than me. It's like an art form. No one can say like what my thoughts are because they're not experiencing my particular frame of reality. And then that showed me, okay, the only thing I can actually trust is the universe. And that's where we come to like that moment of realization that, do you actually trust the universe? You need to first of all realize that the universe is alive, then make a choice to actually develop a relationship with the universe, and understand that your relationship with the universe sometimes is going to be intimate, sometimes it's going to be public, sometimes it's going to be something that you can frame in words, and sometimes you can't. And then coming to this opportunity of defying what you even think trust is. Because a lot of times people are like, oh, I want to trust the universe, but you're trying to trust the universe from your experience trusting people. And like, you inherently know that everyone on the third dimension is struggling through something, and some people are more trustworthy than others. And then that perception of the human condition forces you to imply these limitations on the universe, on whether or not you can trust the universe fully or not. And then you're like, oh, you got to prove to me, universe, that I can trust you. But the universe doesn't respond in that way. And when I didn't know what the law of attraction was, and I did not know what manifestation was, like those words came when I was in my 20s, right? To understand. how to manipulate reality. But I was manipulating reality prior to that as like just old fashioned, just I knew how the dynamics of reality worked. So I'm going to move reality from that perspective, right? So once you understand that, like, you cannot justify the experience of reality by your experience with humanity, then you're actually understanding the cosmos for who it really is. And notice how, like, this is no different than falling in love with somebody or becoming really good friends with somebody or creating any other type of relationship. Like, you just have to be aware that you're not having a relationship with somebody who's in a physical body. They're everywhere. This person is literally everywhere through media, books, ideas, thoughts, music, whatever. It's flowing in every way, shape, or form, and you can have a relationship with it constantly. And there are times where your friendship is going to be tested. It's natural. Like, there's a time where you and your partner, your marriage gets tested to some degree. Rather, you guys don't see eye to eye for a while, or you can be in a relationship with a business partner, and then you guys have tension because you both don't know how to spend a specific budget the same way that you would like to. There's so many ways that any relationship will come into a tension, even with yourself. There are days where you're really connected to your higher self, and then there are days where you're not. And then in those moments where you're not connected to your higher self, you need to have such a level of resilience and trust in yourself to know that you're not disconnected from your higher self, to know that your higher self is not ignoring you, to know that, like, this is happening for a reason. Maybe that my higher self is busy, right? Quote unquote. Like, if you were dating a person, sometimes they don't pick up your phone call because they're busy, or they're away from their phone, or they needed personal time, or if they answered your phone call, you were going to distract yourself from doing something that you should have been doing. And when you start seeing everything's happening for a reason because I'm in a relationship with the cosmos, you're truly talking to the cosmos. And then that's when the cosmos starts manifesting things on your behalf. A lot of people are trying to manipulate the universe and tell the universe what to do and command it, which is then holding them back at a really, really deep degree. Like, they can't master true energy work. They can't master true manifestation because there's a part of them that really just wants to be able to say, I can command the universe. The universe is a person because the universe is you. If you can look at yourself, right, that golden rule, treat others the way you would like to be treated, and you recognize that everything is consciousness, treat all consciousness the way you would like your consciousness to be treated, right? And then that changes a whole set of dynamics that literally opens the universe for you. And you can find this in feng shui, you can find this in Egyptian alchemy, you can find this in a bunch of different magics where they tell you, talk to the elements, talk to your objects, because they last longer if you tell your house that you love your house. Put love into something and it's gonna grow. So there's all these different ways where you can see how the way you interact with something is what changes things. People who wake up telling themselves early in the morning, I'm gonna have a great day, have a better day than people who wake up and they're like, oh God, we gotta do this all over again. Because your energy is then dictating the universe how to actually manifest itself for you. You have a relationship with the universe, which is, you don't realize you waking up and saying, oh, I have to deal with you again. Who wants to be in a relationship that wants to, like, help you out succeed if that's how you're constantly responding to the universe? So here you have to allow yourself to even break outside of the box as to what you think these traditional methods are about. Talking to the universe does have multiple different ways to do it. Some people do it through feeling. They understand how they feel about the universe and it responds in kind. Other people understand it as, like, direct communication, like I do. My entire life has been just talking to the universe and trusting that it's going to help me manifest things. It's helped me save my life a bunch of times. It's helped me, just manifest a lot of money, a lot of communication, being with celebrities. Like, it's done so much for me because I'm constantly trying to surrender into, this is all a co-creation. That means I'm not doing it by myself. I'm doing it with the cosmos as at a larger scale and the independent cosmoses of every other person. That's how you start to talk to the universe. Understanding the planets is another amazing way to like do this, because when you understand how the magic of the planets influence your zodiac, but also the powers of the planets as they allow themselves to really manipulate reality on your behalf, how they're tied to the chakras, how they're tied to different deities. If you start channeling those deities, if you start reading your tarot in combination with how planetary movements and stuff like that happen, then you're going to allow yourself to have more and more and more opportunity to deeply, deeply connect with talking to the cosmos. It's no longer like trying to talk to it. You're not even praying to it. It knows you so well because you've developed a relationship that it can anticipate what you need and what you want because it's watching. It's almost like an algorithm. And that's where miracles are perpetual. Like you ask for something and it shows up like in just a matter of days because you're no longer fighting yourself or fighting reality. You manifested that reality works faster for you. Lots of people want to focus on manifesting, right? Their end goal. I want a Lamborghini, but how about you manifest having an easier time manifesting? Duh, right? So this is just something I want to leave with you, and let me know how you feel in the comments. I definitely want to like know how that's vibrating with you. Did you know these tips? Do you want more tips? I would love to make a podcast or anything else that you need directly curtailed to what you are all experiencing. I'm sending you lots of love. Don't forget to follow, and I'll catch you later. Antojai.